Hello, investors, and welcome to the channel. Today, I'm taking a look at Poet Technologies. Poet is an AI infrastructure company. They develop light technologies and optical modules that go into hyperscale data centers. So, I first am going to take a look at the chart, and we're going to figure out what the support levels are and maybe get an idea of where this stock is headed next. And then I'm going to take you over to their website to look at a few things that I think are pretty interesting over there. So, as far as the stock performance, I first heard about this stock back in the spring, and it was in this $4 range or early summer, maybe it was. And then it went on this huge run. I totally missed it. I never had a position, never took a position, put it on my watch list and kind of forgot about it. It started coming all the way back down. I never got the buy in here because I had not had any capital available at that time because I was heavily into some other stuff. And by the time I raised some cash, it was gone again. Had another massive run. But patience is rewarded because it's come all the way down back to this range where it was back at the end of the summer into this $5 area. So it has taken out all the moving averages, the 20, the 50, the 100-day moving average, and it has come to sit right on the long-term 200-day moving average. And that's right around $5.35 or so. So where do we go next? Where are our support levels? Let's turn them on. We can see we've been in a downtrend, taking the stock down pretty steeply. It has the support of this moving average. And once it dips below that, and we can see historically the stock is prone to dipping below that 200-day moving average. As a matter of fact, it's prone to dipping below all the moving averages. It doesn't seem to respect them much, which is unusual for most stocks, but maybe not so much for smaller caps. So what we can expect next here is I'm going to zoom in a little bit on the current trading so we can see better. We have a little bit of support. If this 200-day doesn't hold, we have some support down here, um, and a little bit more below it. This is between $5 and $5.20. So the support could end up being anywhere in between that. So worst case, let's just call it $5. So we're looking at if it breaches here, and it closed pretty close to the low of the day, so that wasn't a great signal, then we could be looking at this $5, or somewhere in the teens, 5.15, 5.20 range. Once we go below that, we're dropping below 5 all the way down into the fours, around $4.70. So, and below that, it gets real sketchy. I didn't even mark it out, but below that, we would return to this um, early spring, early summer, late spring levels back here, which are all the way down to the just below $4 range, possibly anywhere between low fours and just below four. Well, hopefully it doesn't come to that. It'd be a shame to see this stock give up all of its gains, but just keeping it real, because where it's at right now, it's not in a wonderful position technically. So um, I would not buy it here. I have to see some kind of buy signal first to see that it has stabilized and that this downtrend isn't going to continue. So that brings up what I wanted to talk about next. All right, I'm over here on the Poet Technologies website. This is their investor relations, where they put all their press releases. So I want to take a look at these to show you why I think the $5 level is significant. And the first thing we're going to look at is this one right here, this $30 million private placement on May 22nd, 2025. So what this was is they issued 6 million shares at $5 a share. That was their $30 million. But along with each share, they got a warrant. and the warrant is exercisable at Canadian 832, which is about US 588. So $5.88. So if they pay $5.88, they can buy up to another 6 million shares. So that's about 12 million shares right there in this one offering. So then we come up here, they announce another one on July 7th. It closes, what's that, a week and a half later? And this is pretty much the same deal. 5,000 units. Each unit is a share and a warrant at $5 a share. So now we have 11 million shares at $5 a share and 11 million warrants at that 588. Actually, this one was a little cheaper. It's 816. Then we come up here. They start getting some accolades and they win some awards. I think this award right here was one of the things that triggered the last rally starting in September that went up into that $8-9 range. That was one of the triggers there. So then we come over here. They got one more private placement over here. They closed for this one was for 75 million. So let's recap real fast. They did the 6 million, they did the 5 million, and now they're going to do another one. This one's a little odd because this one's an odd number. It's 13.6 million shares, and again, they get warrants. And this one was done at, we'll come down here. This one was done at 550. So this one was a little higher. So they got 13.6 million shares at 550 and 13.6 million warrants that they can exercise at 978 Canadian, which is, again, I wrote this number down, 692 US. So almost $7 they can get. And if the stock gets up to that $7 range, they can get another 13.6 million shares. They can actually get them at any time, I guess. It doesn't say the stock has to trade anywhere, but it would make more sense for them to wait until it was profitable. And then the final thing, well, one more thing, actually two more things. So right here, they announced a 5 million production order, which is really good news. It's at all the news releases I looked at. This is the first order that they got where they put a monetary value on it that I found. So this is good. It means they're starting to move into production because this company is a development stage company. They have up until this point they really haven't been making any revenue. So this is like one of their first orders. I don't know which quarter this will hit in, but this is pretty good because they're immediately just with this one order they go from essentially zero. I think they were less than $500,000 of revenue last quarter. They go from essentially zero to 5 million instantly. So that's pretty good. It's still, 5 million is not enough to justify their valuation, but it's a start. And then the final thing I want to take a look at is this one, because this one's a little different than the rest of the ones. So all the other ones were these deals where they got the common shares and they got the warrants for the same price. So you had 11 million at $5, you had another 13.6 million at 550, and then you had a bunch of warrants on there on top of that. So it's like 11 million and 13.6 million. So let's call that 24 million right there of shares that they offered in the last 6 months. And then the same number of warrants sitting out there that could be exercised and sold into the market. This one though is a little different, and this one's a little more of a bullish one because they just did this recently, just closed on October 28th, and it was for 20.6 million shares, and they got $150 million. It's not listed in here, but I already did the math. It's 725 a share, and there were no warrants with this, so they paid a pretty good price for a big number of shares. They paid $7.25 a share, and that closed on October 28th. Let's take a look. Where was the stock price on October 28th? It's right here. So they paid. I imagine they probably announced it on the 28th, so maybe it closed the day before. So let's just assume it closed on the 27th. The stock was in the eight range, 820. So 820, they paid 725. they got a little bit of a discount on it, but it didn't last long because the stock immediately sold off. So that's what makes me curious is the timing of these private placements and then this stock selling off. So the conspiracy theory I have is that maybe some of these people doing these private placements are selling off. If I had to guess, I would think that the last one I talked about, this one here for 150 million, I don't think they bought that at that price to sell for a few pennies. I think this is more of an investment. I think these other ones where they were doing the warrants seem like a different type of deal to me, where I think they're a little more like, yeah, okay, well, we're getting essentially, two shares for the price of one. Well, we could just sell one and hold the other one. Um, in some cases, I know with penny stocks and low caps, they do some sketchy stuff like they short against their warrants. So you would short the stock, and if it ran away on you, you cover using the by purchasing the warrant at the lower price and covering that short position. So there's a lot of scammy stuff they can do with those types of deals where they get um, warrants and shares in the same placement. Now, I'm not saying that's what happened. I'm just saying it exists and it's always possible. But this one strikes me as different because I did they did say who they um, used to do the placement, and I have them up here. It's a group called Titan Partners, and this is their website. They're what they call a boutique investment firm out of New York City. And you can see right here that this is all their deals that they've done, and this scrolls down more. But the latest one they did was this Poet Technologies. That's the 150 million, and it's a registered direct. So this means it went right to someone. That's what I interpret it as opposed to this one here where it's a public offering, which they're selling this on the open market, and they're only acting as one of the market makers basically, or one of the placement firms. So that's where we're at. We have a stock that's been in a serious downtrend. It's a story stock, like a lot of these AI stocks. You'll have to read up more and come to your own conclusion if you buy into that story and what you think the valuation is. I don't really have a valuation on this. I think it could go higher, and it's shown in the past that it can run. If we look here, it's had some big run-ups, but then it's pulled back. And I do think, with the support in the $4 or $5 range, and with those private placements hanging right at that $5 range, which is, if we look down here, it's this line right here, this support line that I drew is at 502. So that I think that's where we would see the stocks firm up. I think in the next few days, especially if the market stays weak, we could see it get all the way down there, this last 30 cents to that $5. And then I would expect it to catch some support because if they are selling, if my conspiracy theory is correct, and that some of these people who have the warrants are selling or have been selling, they probably would stop at that $5 range. It's no longer any reason for them to keep selling. There's no profit in it. They could just sell for other reasons, but uh, you know, I think that would be where they would support the stock to try to keep themselves in that profitable, so they have a profitable investment on their books rather than trying to dump it and forcing the stock even lower and causing themselves to take more of a loss by dumping. So and I've seen this in the past where they stop dumping at the level where it becomes unprofitable to dump the stock. So we'll see what happens. It's all just a theory. Like I said, I don't actually know. I don't have any evidence. It's just some guesswork from looking at the charts and looking at the all the news I showed you, and that is what I came up to. But for right now, this stock is a watch. It's on my watch list. I'm watching for an entry point. The price is good for me right now. It's where I was looking at it before I missed the run. Um, and I just need to see a buy signal. I need to see it firm up a little bit. which would maybe be a couple consecutive up days with higher highs, and getting back above some key support levels. So we'll see. It's a really weak chart right now, so it's going to take some time. And then the last thing, I know I've been talking for a while. Don't want to forget to mention this. Earnings are next week. Um, I think Wednesday, November 12th. Hope I got the day right. Anyway, they're next week sometime. So that could impact the stock. I've noticed a trend lately, this month, of stocks selling, the low caps especially, and the tech stocks selling off a bit before earnings. So that could add some downward pressure to take it down to that $5 level. So we'll see. I mean, maybe since it already sold off, maybe it'll switch it up and it'll rally a little bit. I don't know. Everything else that I've been looking at is sold off right before earnings. So that's it for now. Um, Good luck out there. Hope the markets improve a little bit after today. They were pretty bad, and good luck. And I will talk to you later.